When people think about the downside of not knowing how to cook as an adult, their first thought is often that it's monetarily expensive. Because, it costs a lot of money to eat out nowadays. Sometimes you buy something for $15 and you end up paying $30 because of all the fees. However, there are many hidden costs of not having cooking as a skill that almost nobody talks about, which is why not knowing how to cook your own meals is way more expensive than you think, because it's not just costing you money. This video is not me shaming you for not knowing how to cook, because that would be very hypocritical of me since just a couple years ago, I barely knew how to boil an egg properly myself. This is just an honest conversation to show you the real cost of not knowing how to cook as an adult. That way you can see the full picture, and if cooking is a skill that you've been wanting to pick up on but you're kind of scared to start or you don't know where to start, that's what my channel is focused on. If cooking is not something that you want to do, this is not me trying to convince you at all. If you don't want to do it, just don't do it. But if it's something that you're thinking about, this conversation is just to give you a little push to show you that learning to cook your own meals is actually worth it. Let's start with the obvious cost. The money cost. Buying food is very expensive nowadays, and I know groceries are expensive too. I'm not dismissing that. But when you're buying food that's already made at a restaurant, you're paying for the food, you're paying sometimes delivery fees unless you pick up the food yourself, you're paying service fees, markups on the menu prices, because convenience is expensive. Even if you're paying a small amount in the moment, the numbers add up really fast over time. I remember 4 years ago, I looked at my DoorDash account and I saw you've saved $900 something on fees in the past 6 months. And I was like, even the ring light is just stunned. Even the ring light is surprised. Let me turn that back on. Anyways, so I said to myself, if I saved that much money on fees, how much did I spend? When you don't know how to cook your own meals, you still need to feed yourself. So you're going to rely on ordering out to do that, because we're human beings. We need food to survive. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, I was buying all three of them every day. And my bank account was not happy with me, but I still had to feed myself, okay? Obviously, eating out is expensive. I don't need to hammer that point home. That's not the point of the video. You already know that. Let's talk about the other costs of not knowing how to cook that people don't usually talk about. First, the confidence cost. It can feel very embarrassing to be an adult who can't cook, especially if you grew up or live in a traditional culture where that's something you're supposed to know how to do. That mostly applies to women, because in traditional cultures, men are not expected to know how to cook, but the women are. So not only you can feel an internal shame, but other people might even make it worse because they'll talk about it. And sometimes they don't mean it in a bad way. Sometimes they're just looking out for you, but your brain doesn't always understand that. And they don't always put it in the nicest way, which makes it worse. And even if you take the other people out of the equation, if you're an adult who live alone, or like even if you have roommates and stuff like that, but you're still responsible for feeding yourself, sometimes you feel less self-sufficient because you have to rely on takeout and like eating out to survive. It's not a great feeling, especially if you're someone who wants to cook, but you're just scared of it, or you just don't know where to even start in the kitchen. It feels overwhelming. Like you want to do it, but at the same time you don't, because it feels like it's too much. Avoiding it feels a lot better than actually doing it. But something I learned about avoiding things is that it doesn't make them go away. Actually, it makes them worse. Let's say you get a toll bill. If you don't pay it, that's not going to make it go away. Instead, they're going to keep adding fees and fees and fees and fees on top of it, and it might even get to a point where it affects your license and like you being able to drive. All that to say that ignoring it is not going to make it go away. Your confidence is not going to improve. It's not going to increase from you avoiding it altogether. And if you add that to the fact that it's costing you a lot of money, that's also going to take a hit on your confidence, because you might start thinking, well, if I knew how to cook, I wouldn't be spending all that money on food, money that I could use elsewhere to like do other things that you actually want to do, like start projects, travel, do things for your family, do things for yourself. Number 2, the health cost. When you're buying takeout, when you're ordering out, you don't control what's in the food that you're eating. You don't control how it tastes. You just get it and you eat it. Now, I'm not saying that cooking your own meals at home automatically means that you're eating healthy. However, when you're the one making your meals, you have more control over the ingredients. You can either go to the grocery store and buy a bunch of crap, a bunch of sugar and unhealthy stuff, or you can buy healthier ingredients and make healthier meals. I'm not saying that you can't eat healthy when you're ordering out, when you go out to get some food, because I'm starting to build a habit of picking healthier meals when I do go eat out, or when I do order out. But most of the times when people order out, it's not always the healthiest things. I know personally, I don't usually order the healthiest things. If I want to eat healthy, I make it at home. When I eat out, it's mostly things that I enjoy eating, like I want to indulge a little bit. So it's things like pizza, pasta, like ice cream, mozzarella sticks. I love those. Burgers, like all that. I don't go out of my way to order healthy things. I try to keep a balance, like 80 to 20, like 80-20, or like 70-30. Like 70% of the time I'll eat healthy and 30% of the time I'll indulge, because who wants to eat healthy 100% of the time? If you want to, hey, that's all you. I'm not shaming you. I'm just saying, for the majority of people, it's not the case. Like, you have one life. You have to live. Okay. Obviously, you have to care for your health so you can live a long, healthy life and be able to have more experiences and be able to do all the things you want to do. However, you don't want a miserable life either. If eating some pizza is going to make you happy, as long as it's not going to kill you, who cares? Eat your pizza. Okay. As long as you balance it out with healthy meals, I would much rather. Personally, I would much rather eat healthy 70% of the time, and the other 30% of the time I eat things to like balance it out, and that makes me happy, because it makes it so much easier for me to keep that 70% going longer. There's this phase that I think everybody goes through at some point, where you decide, okay, I'm gonna eat healthy. You throw out everything in the fridge that you consider unhealthy, and you buy lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers. You buy salad, basically. And you eat that for a couple of days, and then one day you wake up at midnight and you're looking for snacks in the house. But there are no snacks in the house, because you decided that you are going to eat 100% healthy from now on. And all of a sudden, it's 2 a.m. and you're ordering ice cream, and you eat that ice cream, and your brain gets a sense of relief. I'm like, oh, I forgot how that felt for a bit. I want more. And then you get more snacks, and then you get more unhealthy things. And all of a sudden, it's been 3 weeks and you threw out your healthy diet out the window. Anyways, see, my point is that doing a 180 overnight is not sustainable. That's why I'm saying I would much rather start slowly and build it up over time. If you change it overnight, it might last a couple days, a couple weeks, a couple months even. But if you slip, or should I say when you slip, it's going to be a very, very slippery slope. Number 3, the opportunity cost. Every skill you don't learn closes doors to opportunities that you could have had. We talked about it earlier. Cooking can save you money. It can help you care for your family. Meal prepping can help make your life easier, because you don't have to cook every day, but you're still able to eat well. I know it does for me. I typically cook once or twice a week, and I'm good for the whole week. Some weeks I don't feel like cooking. I'll still have like some fruits at home. I'll still get some like Greek yogurt, have that, and maybe I'll go out for lunch. I always get the same things whenever I order out, because it's all part of my plan. It's all part of my 70-30, 80-20 plan that I mentioned earlier. You can always balance out home cooking with eating out. I actually talk about that in one of my previous videos, how to enjoy eating out as someone who cooks at home. You can check it out. I'll link it somewhere up here after this video, of course. But one thing is that you don't have to become a chef. You don't even have to be great at it. You just need to have the basic skills to be able to feed yourself, to not have to completely rely on takeout. My goal was to be in a position where I buy takeout, I eat out because I want to, not because I have to. And I am so glad I did. I am so glad I did, because overcoming my fear of cooking helped me overcome so many other things in my life just because I decided to learn that skill. I actually made a video, 10 reasons why learning to cook is a brilliant idea. The videos I reference, I'll link them in the description box below so you can check them out for yourself afterwards. But it's a good skill to have. It's going to benefit you. It's going to benefit the people around you. You can even monetize that skill. People who learn how to cook at home, they make videos online. They not only help other people through recipes and showing them that it's possible, but they're also making money from that. It doesn't hurt to give it a try, even if you don't end up doing it and like continue doing it in the long run. Now, here's the good news. You don't need 100 recipes. You don't even need to follow recipes word for word. I know I don't. You don't need fancy equipment, fancy tools and utensils. You don't need a fancy kitchen. You just need to start and slowly build over time. However, if cooking feels overwhelming to you or you don't know where to start, I have the perfect playlist for you. I'll link it at the end of this video so you can just click on it. It walks you through step by step everything you need to do to start your cooking journey. And I don't mean just go out and buy a couple pots and pans and utensils and like grab some spices and recipes and start cooking. No, I know how it feels to be terrified to be in the kitchen. So I don't just give you like cooking tips and like tools to use and recipes. I walk you through the mindset shift that you need to make in order to actually start your cooking journey. So if you've ever felt behind in life because you're an adult and you don't know how to cook, I guarantee you, you're not the only one. You'll see it in the comments under some of my videos. There are other people who are in the same boat as you. I was in the same boat. So I know exactly how it feels. Something I realized from making these videos is that there are way more people who experience cooking anxiety than you might think. However, it's never too late to start. Whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, I don't care. If you want to do it, you can still do it. My biggest advice is to do it for yourself. Don't do it because other people are making fun of you. Don't do it because you feel like it's something you have to do. Don't do it to please somebody else, to make someone else accept you. Do it for you. Do it for you. Do it because it's something that you actually want to do, because that's the only way you're gonna last. Sure, it's great that other people will benefit from you having that skill, but if you do it for you, no matter what other people say, if they start making fun of you for trying, if they don't like the food you make, if like they find whatever reason to try to discourage you or like make fun of you because you're trying to learn a new skill, it's not going to matter, because what? You're doing it for yourself. So here's the playlist I mentioned. If you want to start your cooking journey, but you're overwhelmed, don't know where to start, this is the perfect playlist for you. I also have other resources on my channel, so feel free to check that out as well. All right, I'll see you there. Bye for now.